Right, everybody, welcome along to the Legit Crypto Lounge, the place that brings together real projects with real people. For today's AMA, we're joined by the team behind KUWALA, and we're joined by Sean and Jason from KUWALA. In terms of the structure for the next hour, we will meet the team behind the token and then have a look at the project itself and see what sets it apart from the competition. And then at the end, we'll obviously have a Q&A so you can ask all your questions. So before we get into the details of the project itself, Sean and Jason, it'd be great to find a little bit more about the team behind the token. So if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, telling us a bit about your background, area of expertise, and any crypto experience you have, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. I think I'll start if you don't mind, Jason.
Go ahead, sure.
So currently the team consists of, in terms of our in-house team, consists of 3 people. Myself, Jason, and Carlos, who is our pretty much UI designer and deals with everything on that end of things. I'll just start by talking about myself. My name's Sean. I've pretty much been involved in the field of crypto for a few years now. I'd say the best part of 3.5 years or so. I've been involved in many projects, especially on the Binance Smart Chain network in terms of as an investor. This is my first project that I would say in terms of as an actual token that I'm involved in creating with Jason. But in terms of experience in the field of crypto, like I mentioned earlier, just before we started the AMA, I've got experience in P2P, peer-to-peer exchange of crypto, different currencies. On top of that, I'm currently based in the Middle East. I'm actually in the capital city of Saudi Arabia, which is Riyadh. I'm originally from London, born and raised. I do go back and forth quite often. I work in the aviation sector over here. So I'm currently an instructor. Most of my students are aeronautical engineers for the Royal Saudi Air Force. I've been doing that for the best part of 6 years now, I'd say. I've pretty much got quite a lot of experience in terms of being around the Middle East in total. But my main background is pretty much education. Alongside education, it's on top of the teaching side, I also have a degree in accounting and finance. Yeah, that's a little bit of a brief background with regards to myself. I'll let Jason talk about himself now.
Yes. Hi, guys. I'm Jason. I'm one of the co-founders here at KUWALA. Like Sean said, so there's a team of 3 of us in total at the moment. Just by way of brief background, I've got experience in being a part of I wouldn't say major, but a mid-firm P2P exchange in London, which at the moment is on hold currently due to the FCA, which is the Financial Conduct Authority. For those of you who are aware of them, they're currently writing up a framework for most crypto firms at the moment. We're waiting for us to get our license. Been in the crypto industry for give or take, I would say about 5 years now. I've been in the crypto industry, mainly overseeing the crypto space and the development of the crypto space in general. And yeah, me and Sean and another partner of ours decided to come together and try and see if we can fit into the crypto space, more specifically within the P2E space. And we decided to create KUWALA Coin, which we're going to be talking about more along this AMA. I'm not going to take up too much time. I'll pass it back over to the guys.
Yeah, perfect. So you mentioned there's a third party as well. Was it Carlos?
Carlos, yeah, he's unavailable at the moment, but yeah, he's part of our core team. That's right.
Okay. And so obviously all of you are have jobs, have businesses at the moment. So this is not something full time for you at the moment.
At the moment, it's full time for myself, and it's also full time for Carlos, not for Sean at the moment. but it's a project where it doesn't, at the moment, where we are still at our infancy stages, it's not really taking up a huge amount of time, but we intend on making this full time in the near future.
Okay.
Just to touch on that, I've actually handed in terms of work-wise, just to be able to spend more time on Koala. I've actually handed in my notice to work, actually, but just based on legality for the certain period of completion that I have to do in order to leave without any issues. So I'm just currently undergoing that stage. So in terms of, commitment and stuff, all three of us are, equally 100% committed to the cause. I'm just, by way of legality, I'm just tied into a contract at the moment that I just have to see through.
Okay.
Once that's done, of course, I'll be full-time.
Cool. Nice. Right then, let's get into the token, shall we? Do you want to give us an overview of what you're trying to create?
Yeah, so sorry, my mic was off there at the moment. Yeah, so the overview of our use case really is we're planning on bringing a metaverse P2E game into the Binance Smart Chain. By this, we're going to not only going to have a crypto utility, but we're also going to have a real life utility in which we're going to be hosting tournaments and events as of such. And on the crypto side of things, we want to be allowing people to participate in staking, yield farming, also being able to be part of the NFTs, being part of our NFT community in order for them to earn and gain rewards. Sure.
Yeah, just to touch up on that.
Sorry guys, my mic
As
is really
Jason previously mentioned, can you hear me, guys?
Yes. It's just sometimes the connection goes a bit and then it's fast forwards you, but we can hear you. Yeah.
Cool, perfect. Just to touch up on what Jason said with regards to our utility, he mentioned already the staking, the tournaments, some of the features that we're planning to offer. We also plan to have a real life utility as well. As mentioned previously, I've got over 10 years of experience in the field of education as a whole, and Jason also has experience in that field too. We pretty much, like if you guys can see on our white paper, we've actually planning to open up our own gaming studio at some point where we're able to, offer some of our services, which will be the likes of, seminars, workshops, and also networking events. And that's pretty much something that we plan to do. And we feel as though because of our, especially mine in particular, my years of experience in the field of education, it's easy to form partnerships with many different education centers to allow people who are interested, students, etc., to come and get real life advice and also workshops from industry experts in the field of gaming who can kind of help in terms of career paths and stuff of that nature. And of course, we plan to actually use the profits gained in that to reinvest back into KUWALA. So that's something that we have alongside the whole NFT staking and metaverse play to earn game.
Right. Okay. So there's quite a lot going on there, isn't there? You've got what's your main focus? What is it? The metaverse or?
Yeah, exactly. So our main focus at the moment is 100%. The metaverse, as I mentioned earlier. I think just a statistic that I'm not sure everyone's aware of or not, but actually in 2021, I believe it was, the gaming industry as a whole was actually valued at 198 billion in 2021, which is amazing, as I'm sure you guys are aware. But it's actually predicted to grow to literally around about 339. I could be off by a billion or so, but 339, 340 billion by 2027. So I think that's definitely our main cause is, like we said, the metaverse, P2E, play to earn game. We pretty much just want to be able to position ourselves to fit in nicely into that level of growth that the industry is expected to have over the coming years.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes. So you want to take a piece of the pie. And what are you creating? Where are you at the moment?
So at the current moment in time, we're actually in talks with a company in Australia called Blockchain Techs. We're planning to get our development made by them in terms of our game. They've been around for quite a while. We're actually at the point right now, we're actually just discussing, as you can see on our roadmap, our play to earn game is actually towards the end of the roadmap. So we're just currently focused on knocking out things like our NFTs and our staking to get that kind of going first.
I think we've lost you. Yeah, I think we lost you, Sean.
I'll take over. Can you guys hear
Okay.
me? Yeah, just to touch up on what Sean was saying. So we are in our infancy stages when it comes to the whole development of the P2E game. Like Sean said, we're in dialogue, and we've kind of assigned a blockchain development team out in Australia to work with and to collaborate with to develop the game. But at the moment, we're more focusing on launching our coin, getting ourselves established firmly within the crypto space first, and it's once we generate revenue, because the funding ranges in between the amounts of 50K upwards to $1 million in terms of the level of gaming that you guys want to that we want to create, and essentially having incentivized game in place that is also user friendly. That is our end goal. And that's KUWALA's main mission. Our objective is to get to a P2E game in which is compatible on a cross chain of blockchains.
Okay, so effectively, you're going to launch, and you're going to use the taxes created from the buy and sell to fund the development of the game. Is that right?
That's correct.
And so let's just, I wouldn't normally do this, but let's have a look at your tokenomics and the taxes and stuff, because I did have a quick look at them ahead of this, and it looks like, so in total you've got 11% buy and sell tax, and 2% of that is going towards development, which is split between development and salary for the core team. So is this the pot, the fund that's going to help create this game?
Exactly. So can you guys? I think Sean he's muted on the call. If you could just unmute him, I think he got kicked out of the call.
Sorry about that, guys. I believe I was talking, and then all of a sudden, I realized I was talking to myself. Touching on what you said with regard to the development, as mentioned previously, we've also been in the field of crypto for quite a few years now, and we both managed to make a healthy amount of profits in terms of based on our own personal trades and stuff. So in terms of the 2% that you see over there, that will definitely be used as a means to get our development going, but we also plan to dip into our own personal pockets for a lot of funding.
Right, okay, because this 2% developed split between development and salary for core team, but there's three members of the team. So how is that split down? And why are you doing that? Why are you not putting it just towards development if you're self-funding as well?
The reason we're doing that is because, like we said, we're planning to go full time on taking the project forward. Of course, in order to commit to something full time, though we're going to have our own tokens as company holders, we don't actually want to be in a position where we're getting rid of our tokens. So we also have to make it in a way where we can actually sustain ourselves in terms of our personal lives as well, stuff that we have going on. Nobody just wants to run through savings that they have in the bank, etc. You kind of need to create a stream of income that kind of works for you as well. So that's pretty much why we've added salary in there for us at the moment. And development is also, a part that we're just going to need to kickstart off particular things.
How do you expect to split that down? Have you thought about what will be going towards the actual development of the game and what will be going towards wages?
So in terms of splitting the 2%, so the 2%, like Sean was saying, is really essentially going to be not entirely used towards the development of the game. So we've already we're allocating some of our personal funds to kind of fast track the development of the game. In terms of the 2% getting split, essentially it's going to be split in by myself, Carlos, and Sean when it comes to the salary.
Okay. Because just thinking about the numbers and stuff, if you're to develop a metaverse, something really small to start off with, like you said, you're looking at about $1 million to start off with.
No, I think you might have misunderstood what I said. I said no, the development cost of a game within the metaverse space can go upwards of $1 million. Not necessarily that's the budget that we're going to be using. You might have misunderstood what I said.
So how much do you anticipate the game costing you?
So at the moment, we're still in development. We're still in like consulting stages with developers. We haven't got to costing yet.
We've been quoted by quite a few different companies that I've actually looked into that operate on the blockchain. We decided to go with the blockchain technology we're currently talking, and that's just based on the experience that we feel like they have. But we've been given, I've been given quotes of around 250, 300k, 400k. It just depends on the intricacies of the game itself. So like Sean said, like Jason said. It can be upwards of $1 million, but it also can be in the region of 2 to 500k, around that region as well. And that's currently what we're trying to nail out at the moment. Like I did mention previously, we're not really too scared on that behalf, and that's just based on the fact that we don't really want to necessarily talk about the personal funds that we have in terms of the amount, but it's a healthy amount, and it's we know the liquidity that's required to pull off a metaverse game. And we're, happy with the figures that we have at the moment to know that we're able to kind of handle that within that region. And that's the reason why we didn't really put our development as, 3%. We kept it low compared to marketing.
Okay. Did you want to come in on anything, Toby?
It's quite hard to gauge at the minute because obviously I have no idea what kind of budget you're aiming for this game. So, I mean, but like, obviously you're going to need like 50 million volume to create a pool of $1 million with a 1% tax, 2% tax. But it's hard to gauge because you obviously, I understand your reason for not divulging your personal funds and stuff, but it'd be nice to know how much you're going to be able to pump start the game with. You know what I mean? Because that's going to be what kickstarts everything. Without that initial funding, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, let's just say at the moment, without giving away too much information, we've kind of come to near enough of an agreement around the 300 to 400k mark in terms of what we're planning to cough up. So that's pretty much, near enough the region that we're planning to go in with. And of course, we shall see with regards to, how things do when trading opens up, with regards to the volume that we managed to bring in to help in terms of, maybe bringing that number up by 100k or so, depending on obviously what's quoted when it comes to the time of the development actually getting done.
I'm presuming that's not a down payment either. Is that spread over a series of periods, yeah?
Sorry, could you just repeat that? You just broke up halfway through the question that you asked.
Sorry, yeah. So I'm presuming that figure is not a down payment. It's spread, right?
Yeah, it's spread out at the moment. Well, we prefer to spread it out, and that's based on the fact that, you don't really want to give off the full amount in one go. You kind of want to see how development's going.
Of course, yeah.
When it comes to people doing a particular job for you, sometimes you get a botched job when you give them the money up front. So it's just not necessarily a botched job, but you know what I mean? Sometimes that level of motivation isn't always there when funds are kind of given off in a hefty amount. Similar thing when it comes to property that's being developed. No one tends to buy it outright in one go. Most of the time it's, either done through stages or, in portions. And that's pretty much exactly what we want to do. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to launch then, and in terms of your utilities and what you're creating. On the actual launch day, is there going to be anything available? Are you going to have the staking ready, or is that going to come further down the line?
Staking is actually going to be going live from the very first day. We partnered up with an amazing team called Brew Labs. If you guys want to check them out, they're a certic audited company who offer quite a lot of services. So we're going to be getting our staking done from them, which we are currently in talks with at the moment about having that live from the first day. And NFTs will be landing very shortly after. So we're trying to kickstart things. Like I said to you, our main intention is, of course, to get the main thing out of the way in terms of staking and NFTs and stuff. That way we can focus a lot more of our attention on the play to earn game.
Sure. And what's the staking going to look like? Is that going to be fixed or variable?
Variable. Sorry, it's a little bit of a lag. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Sorry, it's like the question comes and then it lags for a second.
Yeah, no worries. So you're looking at variable then?
Yeah, that's it. You can actually head over to Brew Labs and have a look. Actually, I don't know if there's a link. Am I able to post a link in the group at all?
Yeah, of course,
Sure.
go for it.
If you just give me a second, I'll be able to post a link in the group so people can actually have a look at what staking will look like. Bear with me. There we go. Let me just post that in the group.
So, what's the while we're waiting? What's the connection? We see a lot of people coming through the lounge with a connection to Cookie Sale and to Brew Labs that kind of work side by side. Is this how have you got to know about Brew Labs? Obviously, we know about them, but what got your attention?
Yeah, we actually work with. We actually know some of the developers that work with Code Token.
Okay.
We've been around, like I said to you, in the Binance Smart Chain for quite a while, so I've actually seen Brew Labs and a bit of the work that they've done when they've had their. They relaunched and called themselves Brew Labs, but prior to that, they had a different name. I've just lost it off the top of my head, but I knew about them from pretty much back then, so I've kind of been following them in terms of the services and stuff that they offer. When we spoke to some of the Cody developers a while ago, they also mentioned that, Brew Labs have done some work with them, and the quality of their work has been really, really good. So we kind of just went and did our background checks, had a look into them, found out that they were certic audited. We had quite a lot of talks with the actual owner, Dave of Brew Labs, back and forth, just finding out about his background, years of experience in the field, and yeah, we were actually really, really pleased to find out how professional he was. And we just thought, you know what, if we're going to get, like our contract developed and stuff like that, it's always best to go to a place that's one, trusted, and two, upholds a certain level of, professionalism. And so that's pretty much what kind of sold it for us to go there.
Yeah, we've heard good things about Brew Labs and stuff in terms of their contracts development and stuff. So it's a good choice to go through them. Who's doing the audit for you?
Brew Labs are actually doing our audit as we speak. We're planning to release that information soon, just due to the high number of things going on at the moment. There was just a little delay with receiving our audit, but they're the ones who actually developed our contract. Yes, so we're hoping to get an audit from them. And, in the near future, if the project stabilizes and we're sitting at a healthy market cap, then of course our plan would definitely be to, get on going with other audits such as, certic audits and maybe Spy Wolf, and yeah.
Okay, and then looking at your the NFTs. So, do you want to talk us through what you're creating there? I think we've lost you again, Sean.
Did you? Yeah, I didn't quite hear you. Sorry, man. It must be my my internet. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, no worries. I was just going to ask you about your NFTs. What do they look like? Is there any utility behind them?
At the moment, we're planning to incorporate a bit of a reward system with our NFTs, whereby people can open packs of different rarities and actually get given prizes and stuff. Just a fun way to pretty much engage our community. We're planning to do things like just to kind of spice things up a little bit. Once they do get developed, we're actually currently getting them sorted out as we speak. Development's not quite started. We're just pretty much looking to put a down payment down to get the ball rolling. The problem with NFTs is we really didn't want to be the typical Binance Smart Chain company that just comes out and just releases a pile of, I don't want to say garbage, mind my language, but we really just want things to be of a particular standard. And I'm sure you guys can agree that when it comes to producing something of a high level of standard, sometimes that takes time in terms of fishing out the right people to get the job done. So that's pretty much what we've been doing. We just sorted out staking. That was pretty much our number one focus, which is what we pretty much had going. And the next thing that we're planning to tick off is our NFTs. And we're pretty much, if you have a look at our roadmap, these are a lot of things that are meant to come post-launch. But we're just really trying to work hard behind the scenes to get them going now, as there's time to kind of work on stuff. And we just kind of feel like, even though that we promised these things to come at a later stage, we're just trying to get on with the development of things now, so that, it's always nicer to receive things earlier as opposed to later. So we're currently, getting that developed at the moment. In terms of what they look like and stuff like that, we don't really want to give away that information just yet. But we do have a little surprise coming in the next week or so, where we will be showing an example, a sample of the quality of what our NFTs are expected to look like by showing the community an example of one of our NFTs that are being developed, or is currently being sorted out as we speak. But yeah.
Can I just ask a question on that? Have you got any plans to incorporate them into your game, or is this just going to be a standalone thing?
With regards to incorporating them into our game, it's actually a conversation that we actually had previously, myself and Jason. We're just waiting for, like both of us, you guys have heard our backgrounds. Our backgrounds are not, we're not gaming developers at all. So in terms of that front, we need to kind of see what exactly is doable from the actual development side of things. And that's pretty much what we're planning to do. We've got meetings scheduled for the upcoming next 2 weeks, back to back with a blockchain tech company that's based in Australia. And that's just pretty much to find out exactly how, far we can go with regards to our ideas and our plans with regards to the whole PT gaming and what we can incorporate and what we can't. And so it's not something that's off the table. It's something that we have discussed and potentially are looking to do. It just depends on our feedback that we receive from, the industry experts that are dealing with our.
What do you plan to do with the funds raised by the NFTs?
So parts of the funds that are raised from the NFTs, we actually have something called a treasury contract. Yeah. Not sure if you've had a look at it on our website at the moment.
Yeah,
but pretty much. So part of the funds are pretty. We've actually developed. We've got a treasury contract that's been developed, and the whole purpose of us having a treasury contract. I mean, some people call it a treasury contract. Other people call it a buyback, an additional buyback feature, if you want to call it that. It pretty much just allows us the ability to kind of accumulate a lot more of our own token and recycle that, whether that be back into our ecosystem, whether that be through staking farms, or if we want to take that out of supply, that's entirely up to us. And what's going to happen is the income generated from our services, like I mentioned previously, with regards to the whole seminars and workshops and stuff of that nature. Alongside that will be the BNB that's generated from our NFTs. And we plan to pretty much put that back into the ecosystem by actually using our treasury contract to buy our own tokens. And obviously, tokens purchased will be sent to our recycle core wallet. And once tokens are stored in our wallet, they're pretty much effectively out of supply, can't be sold again. And unless, we decide to put them back into staking or farming. And I think this is a pretty great tool to have, because then it gives back to, the holders, because then you allow, the chart to stay as healthy as, you can make possible by allowing, green candles to come about. And also remember, as buybacks are being made, holders benefit from BNB rewards as well. So it's just a bit of another way of kind of giving back to the community as well, and trying to stabilize our token as well. So that's why we plan to spend the money generated from the NFTs.
Cool.
Okay, and one of the other utilities you mentioned about your background in education, and you're going to open a centre. Looking at this, looking at your roadmap, phase 4, official opening of our game studio centre. Is this the part that's linked to that education?
Yeah, pretty much. We didn't, obviously, in a roadmap, we don't really have the chance to go into too much detail, but so pretty much looking at different sites across London at the moment. Obviously, there's a certain level of health and safety that has to be upheld. So we're just currently going through that period. We're actually just looking around, browsing at the moment. So the plan is to kind of create a safe haven, a safe space for people to come and learn about gaming. Where we'll obviously be getting industry experts to come and deliver things like workshops and stuff of that nature. And having, quite a lot of experience, in the field of education. I've actually, networked with quite a lot of, educators, different institutes in and around the UK, and also here in the Middle East as well. So pretty much, just a chance for people to kind of come, get educated on gaming. As I mentioned previously, the gaming industry by 2027 is expected to move up to 340 roughly billion in terms of its worth. And with that being done, you're going to find loads of new youngsters and loads of new individuals who are willing to or wanting to kind of explore career paths in that field. And so we kind of also want to give back to the community as well. And I feel like that's something that we've always been keen on, me as an educator in particular. Teaching is pretty much all about giving back. And that's one thing I really, really pride myself on. So when we made this project, one of the big things for me was how can we actually help, local communities and stuff in terms of, develop, grow, help out the younger communities as well. And this is pretty much a way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you a question again here? So you guys said you're not game developers. Are you keen gamers? Have you already got established streams or something?
We actually are in talks. Like I mentioned, I'm not sure if you guys are aware or not, but here in the Middle East, it's like you could say the home of gamers. We have here in Saudi Arabia in particular, I believe they have the number 1 or the number 2 best FIFA player in the world. Me being someone who's been in the field of education here as well, I've met millions of gamers who have streams of 30k viewers within that region, people who are very, very, heavy gamers. And from networking with them, we've been able to, talk about getting them to pretty much host our live lobbies and stuff. And the main games that pretty much comes under are things like Apex, Legends, Call of Duty, and the likes of, FIFA and stuff. Myself, I have become quite a bit of a gamer in the last year or two. I think maybe that could be due to COVID, but find myself a little bit addicted to Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. And I feel like that kind of also developed a little bit of a passion for me in particular, and Jason as well, to kind of get kick-started in the field of gaming. You know, it's a booming industry, people love it. And I feel like where I'm based at the moment, I'm pretty much in the heart of what I see to be gaming at the moment, especially here in the Middle East. And so, yeah.
Cool. So do you think you've got partnerships lined up for that, ready to go then?
Yeah, so our plan is at the moment, they're pretty much individual streamers. We're planning on getting that going from post-launch, hopefully, give or take, once we've just established, you know, our staking and stuff like that.
Cool. And like, I'm sorry, we're getting a bit of lag from you, so it's a bit awkward, the conversation slightly, but we'll get there. So it's competitions and stuff, and the giveaway prizes. Are these leaderboard? How far out would these like leaderboards be and stuff ready to coincide with the streams?
So pretty much, I've had conversations with, like I said, a lot of the gamers that I've met over here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and likewise Dubai and Abu Dhabi. And what a lot of them tend to do is, especially for games like Call of Duty and stuff like that, you can pretty much open up lobbies, and it's open house invite. People can join in with their teams, pretty much get going. I'm not sure if you know, you're up to date with gamers like FaZe Clan and the likes, but they pretty much do this on quite a consistent basis, where they pretty much open up lobbies, they go to competition lobbies, they join up, they stream their lobbies that are, you know, that they're competing in, and then there's like a cash reward or prizes that are given out. So that's pretty much the kind of region that we're trying to pretty much look into. Like I said, it's not really a hugely tapped into market in terms of competitions here in the Middle East as well. So having spoken to the gamers who have been doing this for, you know, 8-9 years plus, a lot of them mention that, you know, this is something that's heavily more based in the likes of America and stuff like that. And so we're kind of, you know, as Dubai is becoming, you know, a crypto hub over here, I actually have residency in Dubai as well. It's also, you know, something that we're planning to get implemented here in the Middle East as well, because, you know, there's so many gamers full of talent over here, and they have literally thousands of subscribers and people that are watching their streams and stuff like that. So, you know, it's also a way for the community to get involved, because an open invite lobby means anyone can pretty much participate. And then once the lobby's filled, then that's about it. And then of course we can offer our winners a chance to, you know, claim a cash prize or claim a you know, a holiday of some sort. Depends on the particular competition that we have going at the time.
Cool. I'll let you carry on, Mark. Sorry, man.
Yes. So you've mentioned the Middle East a lot, and that's where you're based and stuff. But according to your roadmap, you're opening this gaming centre in London. Was there a reason for choosing that location?
Yeah, in terms of gaming and stuff, as you guys know, that runs on a digital network. So with regards to the individuals that are over here, a lot of them are already gamers. A lot of them, like I said, they've got their own live streams that are being set up. The reason why I particularly chose London is because I'm someone who grew up in London, spent most of my life in the UK, and one thing that I'm very well versed in is, you know, how workshops are set up with colleges, with local education institutes over there and stuff. It's a little bit more difficult to get that stuff going on board over here, due to legalities and issues that occur over here. Whereas in the UK, it's a lot more easier, and pretty much, I'd say, well established in the UK in terms of the education field. So it's a lot easier in that sense. But we do plan to incorporate the Middle East aspect to it, based on, you know, having a digital network where pretty much everyone can get together and link in, you know, with one another. When it comes to things like seminars and stuff, although they might be hosted in the UK, you know, there's direct webcam links. Seminars can be done over, you know, Zoom portals, etc., with a lot of the streamers that we, you know, are planning to line up with. So in terms of the physical space being based in the UK, it doesn't mean that there's not a correlation or a link between the two. We definitely, you know, plan to have them both linked together. Sure.
Yeah. That makes sense. With you linking it into education and stuff, are you setting the game studio, or is this all going to be intertwined within KUWALA? And is this going to be a business or are you separating it out? Is this like a social enterprise? How's that working?
We're pretty much planning to set it up as either a subsidiary for KUWALA, or we can plan to, I think doing it as a subsidiary is a little bit easier. That's just because similar to what Cody has with their marketing pitch that they have, that just makes it easier in terms of being able to take on things like contracts to do with, educational centres and stuff from the UK, having previous experiences with them. It's a little bit harder to acquire a contract when, the name is more Binance Smart Chain related and that type of a field. So, but it's definitely going to have a direct link. And impact.
And it's going to be, so it is going to be set up as a business then. And have you registered the business yet within the UK?
No, like I said, the reason we haven't registered it is because we plan to source the spot first. Once the spot is sourced, then of course that will be the next step for us to do.
Okay. Right. Let's move on to the tokenomics then. I've obviously touched on them with the 2% that's going towards funding and development and salary and stuff. Do you want to give us a breakdown of the rest of the buy and sell taxes?
Sorry. I'm sorry for the lag, but I just simply can't hear everything that you were saying.
Yeah, no worries. So I'll go through it with you. So the buy and sell taxes, you've got 3% towards marketing, 3% towards rewards. So they come in the form of reflections in BNB. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
cool. And you've got a 2% development, 2% liquidity, and 1% buyback.
Yeah, so the buyback is pretty much just an additional feature to go in line with, like I said, our treasury contract, and that's just kind of to show the community that we do definitely prioritize the whole keeping a level of stability within our token. So that helps when it comes to things like buybacks and stuff.
Yeah, sure. And then looking at distribution, I'm on your white paper at the moment. So you've got 10% towards staking. You've got 8% for the team. Is that vested, locked?
At the moment, it isn't. Well, for as the team expands, that's what we're planning to do at the moment. We're going through stages where we're currently actually looking to hire moderators and stuff.
Yep.
An ad should be released hopefully tonight or tomorrow, depending on your time zone, on Reddit to be trending for moderators who have experience in the field to pretty much get involved. So I think initially speaking, yes, things will be vested, and that's just as a way to put out a safety precaution out there for everyone. Rug pools have been at large for quite a while now, and we've actually, part of how we actually got together in terms of creating the project was actually coming from quite a few rug pools. We've known each other for more than 10 years plus, been in crypto, like I said, for quite a few years, and though we've actually made a good amount of money, we've also lost a decent amount based on things like rug pools. We were originally involved in Ring Financial, not sure if anyone was involved in any of that, and quite a few other projects, and it's just pretty much becoming such a common theme right now. And yeah, we kind of just feel like we wanted to come out here, especially like I mentioned earlier, being somebody who's in the field of teaching and as an educator, I'm pretty much all about giving back to the community and stuff, and I just feel like there's millions of people that have lost out, and so we try to do what we can to bring about that level of transparency and honesty, so that people can invest with us and hopefully make a good amount of money without having to fear about people running off and the likes.
Yeah. So you want to help build that trust. So on that note, the 8% you mentioned about vesting, is that locked in? Is that sorted? What's the schedule on it?
We are currently going through. We're currently speaking to our contract developers at the moment with regards to how that's going to work.
So it's Brew Labs.
Yeah, Brew Labs. So with regards to the amount, etc., that will be done in that way. So that's just pretty much a conversation that we're having. The only unfortunate thing is based on time zones, it's a little bit difficult catching people because Brew Labs are actually based in Australia, and so that's pretty much when I'm awake, they're asleep kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit tough. But in terms of that, we're actually just in talks of getting all of that stuff sorted at the moment. So when that information does become available, we will give that to the community.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so where are we at the moment in terms of funding? You've got here 4.8% towards private sale. Has that already taken place?
Yeah, so we had a private sale, and that was just pretty much to give members of the project that came in at an early stage an opportunity to get involved and just jump in. Everyone likes a private sale. The main aim wasn't necessarily to raise a lot of capital. It was more so to just give those who got on the bandwagon at an early stage an opportunity to benefit for the fact that they were there quite early. So we just went for a number of 40 BNB, and we raised that pretty quickly, probably in about a day or two. That was done. So yeah, that was like I said, just as a means to kind of show gratitude to those who were there and allow them to get in at a cheaper price.
And what was that cheaper price?
That was 0.0000311.
Okay.
I'll type that for you guys. Hold on.
And how does that work out as a discount versus launch price in terms of percentage?
Give or take 10%.
Okay.
I will show you 0.123455311, and pre-sale should be 0.1234534. Give or take. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That should be our pre-sale price. I don't know if you can see the message.
I'm on my phone at the moment, but yeah. So you're looking at, did you say roughly a 10% discount versus launch?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And so obviously, presumably, that's not vested or anything like that. It's all unlocked at launch.
Yeah, that's it. In terms of the, thing is though, with the people who got involved in the private sale, they're pretty much individuals that we mainly know on a personal basis who decided to get in the project from the very, very beginning. And so in terms of, when it comes to things like this, there's a level of personal sway in terms of, selling and stuff like that we have over them. In the sense that, a lot of these people who have joined, like I said, are individuals we know very, very well and have also been in the field of crypto for a very, very long time. So the whole notion of just coming in to start pre-sale is not something that we're actually worried about at all. To be fair, the reason we didn't really open it up too large is because then, once you start opening up the doors for a load of other people that you might not necessarily know, then of course you kind of run that risk. But for us, the main people who pretty much joined the project, you can see for yourselves, is pretty much still in its infancy stages. But the main people who joined in from the very, very beginning were mainly people that we knew quite well. So yeah, we're not really worried about that in that sense at all.
Yeah.
I'm just intrigued about something. How much is your team wallet worth then at starting price?
Our team wallet is, in terms of how much the total 8%.
So the BNB value at the start. Have you any idea? Have you looked at it?
That's the calculation I have on my laptop that I don't actually have with me, but I can put that in. Let me see if I can just load that up.
It's about 70 BNB, somewhere around there. I don't know if you realise how large that is to start with.
In terms of as individuals, as a team wallet, like I said, things will be split up between myself, Jason, and Carlos as well. On top of that, like I said, we're hiring moderators and stuff where we do, plan to give out portions, not just moderators, as you grow a community. We had a very
100%. But if you look at it this way, you got to vest them tokens straight away, because if you're looking at a 10x to start with, you guys are going to be holding 700 BNB. That's a hell of a lot.
If you recall what I said previously, we're currently in talks with Presale with the whole vesting process at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not planning to get rid of those tokens. And that pretty much goes back to the point that I made earlier, if you remember, with regards to the whole salary notion, because that's where you pretty much allow us to, benefit in terms of, giving up our myself anyway, and Jason as well, being able to commit to a project full time.
So on that note, what do you hold the team tokens for and the salary?
So pretty much the salary at the moment, it's pretty much for an ongoing way of, you're committing to a project for a very, very long time. You have to remember, when it comes to the likes of a token value, you could say, for example, the value drops all of a sudden, then it's worth nothing. What can you do with that? Not much. Our main priority, based on the whole tokens, is pretty much a source of payment for the likes of moderators, and when we did plan to develop our community in that sense. And actually, to be fair, we also do plan to funnel. If you have a look at our white paper, we also do plan to funnel some of the additional BNB that we actually do get into our treasury contract to do things like buybacks as well. And that can come from, salary wallet at some point, or the NFTs, like I said, that are being purchased by our holders and stuff. And like I said, when we went through the whole conversation with Brew Labs, who have been developing contracts for a very, very long time, we were kind of discussing distribution with them, and the main advice that they gave us was 8% is a traditional number, quite a good number to go for. So we thought we'd stick with 8% as a whole, taking on their professional advice.
All right, cool, understood.
Yeah, okay. So let's look at pre-sale then. When is that taking place? Is that via cookie sale?
Yeah, so we plan to launch on cookie sale. Hopefully, I believe the countdown says, is it 16 days now? The 27th, I believe. That's the plan. What we actually initially wanted to do was just let a couple of projects. As you know, cookie sale is quite a new launch pad. So we kind of wanted to see how they perform. We know one or two of the people on the team very well. So we're having communication back and forth with them. So we kind of just wanted to see how things run in terms of, the launch pad, let them kind of get settled in, a few things running. We really like their user interface. Obviously, they're a subsidiary of the Cody token, and, their work pretty much speaks for itself, high quality. And I've actually had a look into Cody token prior, so I kind of know in terms of how they operate and stuff, and I was quite impressed in terms of their professionalism and stuff. So we thought that, hey, it's a good shout to pretty much go there.
And so how much are you looking to raise at pre-sale?
The plan is, our soft cap is, our hard cap, sorry, is 400 BNB, and soft cap, I believe it's 200. Yep.
And what percentage is going towards LP?
52%, I believe. Is it 52%? Hold on. I've got the spreadsheet here. My laptop's just frozen. Jason, are you there?
It is 52%.
Oh, there you go.
52%. And what's the rest of the funds going to be used towards?
Initially speaking, because we're planning to cough up quite a bit of our own funds for the actual development of the game, we obviously need funds for marketing as well. So initially, getting things done like listings on platforms like CMC, trying to jump ahead of the curve. I think things like that are very, very crucial when it comes to projects. It just gives you a very, very good boost, initially speaking. And everyone knows that, it's quite difficult to get up and running if you've had a bit of a bad launch. So the plan is, obviously, if we're able to raise the funds required, then of course we'll look into doing things like, trending on various different pages, KuCoin, etc., ads, banners, pretty much mainly based around marketing.
Sure. So for basically marketing then.
That's it, just to propel the project, to be fair, to kind of gain a little bit of stability whilst we're working on stuff.
Okay. Just going back to your token allocation, distribution, and looking at that versus your roadmap. So on phase 4, you're looking to include some centralized exchanges, but there's no allocation within your distribution for that centralized exchange. So where would those funds be coming from?
Hold on, let me just pull up the website. Hold on. We actually have a percentage that's allocated.
6% reserve treasury.
That's it.
Okay, so part of that is going to be used for the exchange.
That's correct. That's what we discussed with Brew Labs, and that was pretty much based on, like I said, the advice that they gave us, having dealt with contracts before. We were quite unsure initially speaking with regards to how much, but that's the advice that was given to us by them in terms of the amount.
Okay. Did you have something to come in on the pre-sale, Toby?
No, mate, I've covered everything, buddy. There's just a couple of random questions I've got, but they're not really related to the pre-sale.
Just on the pre-sale, what's the minimum and max contribution?
We haven't set the parameters yet, but the min is going to be 5.
Jason, I don't think anyone can hear you. Maybe it's just my phone. I don't know if you guys can hear him.
Can you guys hear me?
It's coming in and out. Can now, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. My mic's bit. Yeah, so it's 0.5 min BNB, and it's going to be a maximum of 5 BNB.
Okay. And so launch, and when are you looking to launch?
So we've anticipated towards the end of the month, on the 27th of April is what we've earmarked. But at the moment, with us launching on Cookie Cell, they've got a few technical issues at the moment with their launch pad. So hopefully that gets ironed out, and we'll be able to go ahead on the 27th of April.
Okay.
If all goes well.
So does that put you in a sticky situation with your pre-launch marketing then? Because I mean, I don't know what you've got lined up pre-launch, but it could be a waste of resources, couldn't it, if you do that and Cookie Sale aren't ready for it?
We was initially actually planning on launching. When was it again? I think it was supposed to be last week. I forgot the date, but
Yeah, it was.
It was last week, but we've had to delay it due to the launch pad not being ready. So we've given ourselves like a little 2-week cushion so that they can. We're in talks with them, and they're assuring us that things are going to be.
They pretty much told us a couple of days things should be, up and running and stuff. So we're kind of just in case, how technical difficulties can be. We kind of just gave ourselves a little 2-week cushion, even though that after having talks with one of the co-founders and stuff, he's assured us that things should get running smoothly in the next couple of days to a week max. So we kind of just thought, hey, you know how things are in the crypto industry. Forget the crypto industry, just in terms of tech in general. Sometimes there's unexpected things that occur. That's why we kind of gave the extra week on top of that. But we're confident that things should be on the way when it comes to their launch pad.
So cool. So what are you rolling? What's your plans then? Pre-marketing, pre-launch marketing.
Yeah, at the moment, pretty much have quite a few AMAs lined up, similar to the likes of you guys, different lounges, things of that nature. We've also got a couple of ad banners that are currently being made at the moment for us to be able to pretty much just advertise on different places. And pretty much for the time being, that's we kind of want to do things in an organic way where, you actually get to speak to people, bring people in, people ask questions. We're available pretty much at any time for people to pop into our private DMs and have questions with us about stuff. And we kind of feel like it's always better to have a bit of, nowadays, if you look into many people's groups, you might see 10,000 people in there, 13,000. And you'd be surprised to know that there's only, like 50 people online or so, because most of them have been botted. And we kind of don't really want to go about doing things that way. We just want to have a level of organic growth whereby, we do things like AMAs and stuff. And that's just to develop our initial core group. Like I said, we also have investors involved that aren't actually on Telegram and stuff, who we do know personally and stuff of that nature, who are really excited about getting involved in the pre-sale. aside from that, once you launch and you list on places like CMC, etc., that's when you can pretty much expect the influx of people to come in from the likes of CoinGeckos and pages of that similar nature.
Cool. Well, do you want to carry on, buddy?
Yeah, but I think it's probably a good moment now to open up for a Q&A. So if anybody does have any questions.
So I've got an idea, Mark. What we'll do is we can finish up the recording. We can do the questions while I'm preparing the duck race.
Sure.
I have got one more question then if Mark's done. And that's why have you gone with the name Koala? It's kind of got a meme-ish feel to it, but like I just want to know your reasoning behind it.
Yeah, can you hear me? Am I lagging again?
No, you're good.
Yeah, in terms of Koala, we've actually it's a play off of obviously the animal koala itself. Koala's one of the places that we've always actually wanted to visit and pretty much go to is pretty much Australia. It's been a weird coincidence that the both of us have actually shared for a very, very long time. And it's kind of a play on the whole me type of a thing. But at the same time, we're trying to bring about our own little utility-based project behind it. But at the same time, it's the field of gaming as well. So we just thought, just try and be a little bit cool and just create something that actually is kind of in line with the whole gaming and stuff. You can expect all the game logos to look quite meme-ish to a certain extent. So just pretty much just playing along with that. In terms of the wording, in case anyone thinks we don't know how to spell koala, it's just a play of the word. It's just a play of the animal itself. Just our own little twist to it.
I did have to check a couple of times when I was spelling it out, like how you'd spell it. But yeah, so yeah, that's it. That's about it from me. Say that again, buddy.
No, I said actually had a message the other day from someone saying, you spelled koala wrong. And I was like, nope, I didn't. But yeah.
Just one more question I've got before I think Mark wants to ask a final question, and that's your roadmap. What's the reasoning behind not putting any dates on it or timelines?
The honest truth behind the reason why we don't put any dates on it is because I've been involved in quite a lot of projects in terms of as an investor in crypto for a very, very long time, and especially the Binance Smart Chain. And one thing I've actually noticed is a lot of the time you give dates and issues do occur, which sometimes are out of your control in terms of technical difficulties that do tend to occur. And that kind of sets you back quite a lot because you've already promised people and communities kind of get put off and then FUD kind of tends to start growing from that. And so we kind of realize sometimes the best thing to do is to just get things done. And we have things in our roadmap, like I mentioned to you previously, like things like staking and et cetera, that's meant to come further on down the line, but we're actually trying to get them done from the offset. And we feel as though that's always the better approach to do it. And once people see that you actually start producing utility, you have things going, then that level of trust gets developed. And once that level of trust is there, people kind of know that, hey, these guys do at the end of the day perform. They do what, they put down that they will do. So it's kind of like, hey, you can kind of leave it to them. And that goes in line with, part of our key model, which is just being transparent with our community. Sometimes it is difficult to put down dates because, those dates don't always get met, and sometimes there can be a delay of quite a bit. So we just felt like in terms of our roadmap, for the time being, let's just not put dates there. Let's just get working and get things going. And just because you might see something that's later on down on the roadmap, it doesn't mean it's not being worked on as we pretty much speak, like mentioned, our staking. And
cool.
We want to have that going from the get-go.
There is one more question we haven't brought up here. But I can remember seeing you are KYC, aren't you? Is it with Cookie Sale or was it with Brew Labs? I can't remember.
Yeah. So the plan is actually to get that going with Cookie Sale. We actually just have to get the pre-sale going up and up for that. So once that's going on, then obviously everyone will be able to see on their website that KYC is done once the pre-sale goes up and live.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Yeah, Mark, over to you, mate, for the killer question, brother.
Yeah. Okay. There is one more question that we'd like to ask you at the Legit Crypto Lounge. So it's pretty fitting for your project, especially with you having quite a lot of utilities and a lot of plans leading towards that metaverse project at the end and stuff. And being able to pull that all together, create that project, we believe can't be achieved without a clear vision from you guys, the team behind the project. So my final question is, at what point does this project become a success to you guys?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, for us as a team, the project pretty much becomes a success once we pretty much given to our holders everything that we promised to pretty much give. And that's pretty much, once the development of our metaverse play to earn game is out, and hopefully we've ticked off all of our other goals and targets that we have set, then at that point we can at least say, it doesn't mean it's the end of KUWALA. We still plan to grow. We plan to further develop the utilities that we will have at that point. But at least at that point, we're able to say, you know what, we produced everything that we promised that we were going to have produced. And so pretty much I'd say once that game is developed and fully functional and people are able to earn, at that point, I'd like to say that, I feel as though, we've reached a part of our success. I mean, success can be defined in many, many different ways. And for me personally, it's an ongoing thing. I don't really feel as though anyone 100% just reaches success. I feel like it's something that, you find new things to develop every day and more ways of being even more successful than you previously were. So I think, but the main point I would say on the base would definitely be once that game is developed and everything else is pretty much ticked off.
Okay, nice one. Thanks for your answer. I think that about wraps it up for us. Just want to say thanks a lot for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Do you have any closing statements you'd like to make?
Yeah, just honestly, thank you for having us. We really, really appreciate it. And yeah, if anyone does have any more questions, my DMs, Jason DMs are open. Feel free to get involved, send us a message, join our Telegram group if there's anything that you have, questions, concerns, queries, whatever it might be. The doors are pretty much always open. It's all about us being a community. So feel free, and it's been a pleasure being on your platform. We really, really appreciated it, honestly.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Sean and Jason, for coming along.